Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Arsenal Way podcast with me, Samrid and Ashwin. We're a brand new Arsenal channel, two passionate gooners from India. We're pretty much present across all social media channels. We're on Twitter at the Arsenal Way. We have a Facebook page, the Arsenal Way, and of course, where you're watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, click the bell icon to be notified whenever we put out new content. We're generally try and put out new videos at least twice a week, mostly reviewing and previewing Arsenal games, and of course talking about everything Arsenal. Um, Ashwin, you and I predicted us to win comfortably 3-1. Well, I predicted 3-1. Um, and we were almost there in the first half, but as with most results at Arsenal, we end up drawing or losing games that we usually dominate. The United one is one that comes to memory. This Leicester game also, we should have closed out the game in the first half, but I guess we just got tired. Is what my feeling is, more in second half than anything else. The red card didn't help, but um, 2 points, like it feels like 2 points dropped than 1 point gained. But yeah, disappointing. But I guess we still haven't lost. I guess we're still on an unbeaten 5 game unbeaten run now. So
I told you, I said my heart said we'll win, my head says we'll lose. I mean, we'll draw, sorry. And I went for a 2-2 draw with that, and it ended up being 1-1. But the game against Leicester just makes me very angry. Like you said, this has happened to Arsenal under Wenger so many times. We've seen us miss these opportunities to go in front and take the lead, and just kill off games. And we've not done that. And towards the end, we've come to rue these missed chances, and it's just been it was that same old story for us again. The first half, like I said, had a couple of clear chances. Like the one where he had the cross where he controlled it was a little difficult, but he could have placed it to the keeper's left instead of going to the keeper's right. I think that's what even Ian Wright was saying at halftime, that he'd expect the keeper to be stronger on his right side, so he should have gone to the keeper's left. And that other chance where Hector, who props to him, had a fantastic game. I've been giving him slack for the last 3 or 4 pods, but Hector had a fantastic game. We saw the old Hector again, where he was coming in, he was cutting in, he was overlapping, he was not losing the ball, and that beautiful chip pass that he played over to Laka, where any striker in the world would die for service like that and would gobble up that chance and score. Uh, it's basic, like when as a kid, when you're playing football, when somebody is coaching you, they always coach you to, when you're taking a header, to hit the ball into the ground so that it bounces and it goes into goal, never hit it straight. And that was what Lacazette should have done. Had he had it's not like he was under pressure, it's not like he was, it was just one of those things that the ball came to him, all he needed to do was just head it down towards the far corner, and that would have been 2-0, game over. It would have been done. And so that's just the disappointing thing. Don't get me started about the red card. Fair play, it was a red card. But again, no malice. There was no intent of malicious. There was no malicious intent on that. He was clearly going for the ball. Like you could see, he had eyes only for the ball. Um, what really, uh, what really gets to me is that Arteta spoke about this also, is that Vardy should have got a red. On first viewing, I thought, okay, maybe he's done it by mistake. But as you watch the replays over and over again, you clearly
he
see
kicks
that,
out.
yeah,
He
you
kicks
clearly
out.
see when Wadi is falling, you can see him eyeing Mustafi, and then he kicks out. And if that's not dangerous play, I don't know what is. Like, he was inches away from puncturing his eye with his studs. So,
And I guess which is what I don't think Arsenal fans are as. I mean, we get carried away with with calling them cheats and whatnot. I think it's incompetence, of course, and then there's no consistency.
and
We Eddie got sent off for it was a mistimed tackle more than anything else, right? Vardy didn't get booked. The next day, Tarkovsky goes in with a studs up challenge that would have taken out somebody's knee.
that was much worse. And
That
nothing,
was not that was much worse, and then nothing was given for that.
and no, and
Um,
1 year since VAR has been implemented, have you ever seen a Premier League referee go up to the monitor and reverse a decision. I mean, you tell me,
Mm,
the guy sitting in the VAR room took like 20 replays and he still couldn't tell whether to give it. It had to go down to the referee. The referee went to the screen in one viewing, has
one
decided.
take, yeah,
Yeah, in one viewing,
one
he
take
decided.
and one angle as well.
Yeah, and another one, uh, the Leicester goal that they equalized with. What was your take on that? I thought it was completely offside. I was even before Jose Perez actually touched the ball, which he in fact did. I felt Jamie Vardy was offside. A lot of people say Scott Mustafi's foot had him onside, but if you see his shoulders leaning in front of Mustafi, and we've seen a lot of those goals not being given to a lot of teams this season, where even if you have something leaning forward, you've been judged as offside. And Vardy was completely offside. And as soon as they saw that line, they completely changed the camera angles and they did something else to make it look like it was onside.
I
So
mean, I mean, okay, I have two separate takes on this. One, I don't think I can say for sure whether the ball changed direction from after Perez, the touching Perez's foot. I don't think there's any
slightly,
sort of.
slightly.
I don't think so. I don't know. I
No,
don't think
if
anybody
you
can say with any sort of complete. I don't think anybody can say with any sort of complete confidence that the ball actually changed trajectory after the pass. I will, however, agree on your point for Vardy, because there have been times in this season when this very instance of even the slightest part of the shoulder or slightest part of the head has been just slightly ahead, and then they've brought out those two, the white line and the blue line, and they look at that measurability piece. They try and measure even the like a millimeter of a difference is called offside. I think that why that wasn't done, I don't know. And you're right. Similar decisions for other teams have been given as offside. We've been given. Was it this season? Or was it last when
this
Lacazette's
season,
foot or lace was
this
offside? I
season.
think
No,
this
so I have
season.
two very clear, very distinct video moments that I remember. One was when Liverpool was playing Man City this season, and Mohamed Salah was clearly offside, where VAR decided to, instead of taking the line absolutely perpendicular, they decided to make it a little
Yeah.
slanting for him. And the other one was Norwich against Spurs, in fact, where Timo Pukki was absolutely onside, and they somehow judged his hair to be offside, and they gave him offside. So, I mean, all I'm calling for is a little bit of consistency. It's not like, see, it comes back down to the same thing that Wenger said in 2017 or 2018, and he's like, two leagues in the world have professional referees. One is Italy and one is England, and he said that no one from England is going to the World Cup, and he's like, there's a reason why for that, and it's just that, like, it's like they want us to. I don't know. It's a conspiracy or what is it? But there's just this. We have always at the
No, I think
short
I
end of the
think
straw.
I think it's just incompetence more than anything else. I think the conspiracy days were far gone. I think sort of went away after Ferguson, because I think when Ferguson was on, I think there was definitely the fear of upsetting him. And we did, I think, lose on a couple of titles at least before during that time. I just think it's just incompetence. The league is much faster. The players are much quicker. I think there's an element of physical, just not being physically fit enough as well. You have people like Mike Dean who are still refereeing. Um,
And Mike Riley is the head of PGMOL.
Mike Riley, who's just
Yeah,
who's had a very spotty reputation right throughout. So it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that we're completely. I'm not absolving them of any blame. I do think that there have been some times where you do feel that we've been unjustly targeted. But there's some on WhatsApp. I got sent a message that we are last place at for the fair play and the fair play table, which is absurd because we have this traditionally been labeled, well, not traditionally, last decade or so, being called the soft team, and there's this tactic of rotational fouling that teams adopt against us, and we've lost quality players because of injuries and us not being given enough protection, and it's, I mean, you can count on one hand the players who we've lost. We lost Debussy, we lost Eduardo, we lost Diaby, we've lost Ramsey for a significant portion, and I think pretty much ended their careers
was
if not
risky.
for Ramsey, who's still playing. Risky. So it's tough. I guess that also needs to be taken into account, but I don't think it's cheating. I just think it's incompetence. I genuinely think it's just incompetence.
Do you know how many red cards we've got since Arteta's taken over?
I know for the season we've got 5 or 7 or something like that.
I think we've got 7 red cards for the season. I think with Arteta being in charge, we had about 3 or 4 red cards.
Wow.
So I don't know. I think it's just like there's a fine line between wanting to be up for it and then just being rash. And I honestly feel that Eddie didn't have any intent to hurt the opponent, no chance. But his eyes were on the ball. And anyway, I just want to, before we move on to the Northern Derby, I just want to mention that it was one of the best halves of football I've seen, the first half. And I think you're right. Second half, we played so many games back to back. It's been, I think it's been 6 games in the space of 2.5 weeks, and it's just been
So
non-stop.
we're the only club that's been playing every 3 days, every four
Yeah,
days.
yeah, we've had a terrible, terrible schedule. Every 3 days we've been playing. It's literally been game, next day rest, one day to train, and then next day game again. And you could clearly see that we were losing. We didn't have anybody from the bench to make an impact, and especially then going down to 10 men, having to play 15 minutes plus another 8 minutes of stoppage time really took a toll on us. And you could see the fatigue in the players more than anything else. So I'm glad, in fact, that we've got a 5 day rest for Spurs. In fact, Spurs play today and then play again on Sunday. So I'm hoping that they go through something today and get some of their players injured. But that first half of football, uh, from the build up to the way we defended to the way we set up traps, uh, I, I was talking about how Leicester came out all guns blazing against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. FA Cup quarter final, sorry. Um, for Arteta to negate that and to set up traps so beautifully was immense to see. Uh, you and me have both given flack to Ceballos, and but if Ceballos can consistently play like that every game, I honestly wouldn't mind extending his loan. I wouldn't say pay 30-35 million for him, but I wouldn't extending his loan for another year if we can get that Ceballos consistently playing week in, week out. But that first half, the way we defended, the way we attacked, we should have been 3-4 goals clear. Even the goal, just talking about that goal, that through ball from Ceballos, Saka on the right looked brilliant. He struggled there for the last 2 or 3 games he's played there, but this game he looked brilliant. And even what was really great to see was when Saka was in that position. If you actually break it down, he moves left and then moves right, making Evans slip. It's not that Evans actually slipped to himself. It's actually that
Yeah.
he's done that, and then he's had the intelligence to actually angle the ball in such a way that it becomes easier for Aubameyang to finish. So Saka is a prospect that, I mean, if there's the one thing that Unai Emery has done well for us is introduce and blood in Saka for us and bring him out to the world. But yeah, that first half was amazing. If you can continue playing with a shit team like we have right now, I don't know what we will become when we back Arteta and give him the sort of players that he wants and he needs. Right. So exciting times with Arteta as well. Just bummed that we didn't get the win, which we clearly should have. But yeah, onwards and upwards from there.
Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much all you're saying, all you've said. It was a blueprint of, like, if the Wolves away was what Arteta is trying to build, Leicester first half was as close to perfection of how he wants his team to play. I don't think as you rightly said, the squad isn't there. It's a work in progress. There are people who are not going to stick around, but I hope, as we've always maintained, that and even with Emery, we gave him enough and more stick, but we wanted him to be given at least the players that he wanted. Same with Arteta. I think he will at least need 2 windows, if not more, to make the squad at least compete for the top four. I think if we can get the summer right, where we should be, we should start competing for top four. At least I don't think the competing for the league is still, I think, a few years away. But at least if nothing else, Arteta seems like the kind of guy who will do all and more to ensure we're at least fighting for top four, because the others have strengthened, and he's made it quite clear to the board that we cannot stay stagnant, and we have to keep pushing and getting better. So yeah, onwards and upwards.
All right, so that was the Leicester game. We have a big one coming up, as everybody knows. It's Tottenham. It's a London derby. It's actually quite sucky that we don't have any fans there because the atmosphere is always hostile. Uh, both teams are always up for it, and somehow, I mean, not somehow, but Spurs have recently managed to get a foothold into these games, but it's mostly dominated by us. Even under Emery, when we were looking shaky, we would get enough in that game and either manage to pull out a victory from a draw or snatch a draw from a losing position. And for some reason, the players have always been up for it. I don't want to jinx this. I want the players to be up for it. We've got a 5 day gap. Uh, you already know Mourinho's come out last week already taking shots at Arsenal. So he's already begun the mind games. But it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a game that again we're going to be playing away from home. It's something Arteta. I think some journalists asked Arteta saying that you think that the lack of audience is actually helping our players play, and he actually said, in fact, there's a possibility that that's happened. That's actually happened because then there's not a lot of pressure on the players, right? Uh, I mean, you're a professional footballer; you should be able to handle the sort of pressures, but he's saying that so this might work in our favor as well, not having that hostile crowd. But then again, it might go against us that you don't have your crowd to cheer you on, with it being such a big and such a. I feel it's the biggest derby in England and possibly the world. Also, I know a lot of people are going to talk about the El Clasico and things like that, but I feel the intensity and passion that the North London derby kicks up is not. I mean, no other derby can compare to that. Even the city. I mean, the Manchester derby is not as great. Um, because there's a lot of rivalry and there's a lot of feud between the two clubs, and it's just like if you're an Arsenal fan, you hate Spurs. If you're a Spurs fan, you hate Arsenal. It's just how it is, and it's just how it's going to be. You cannot for one moment praise them or say anything good about them because you know, they're one of those guys. So, uh, getting into that game, how do you think Arteta will line up? What do you think? How do you think Mourinho will line up? What do you think the scores are going to be? And will we get a win? Yes, no.
Um, Look, I think the only time Mourinho opens his mouth is when he feels threatened. He's done this in the past when and this is a very often used tactic by him. That the moment he realizes that the other team's his opposition team is in a good space, to somehow unnerve them or maybe have that siege mentality for his own team. I think that's what he does. This is not new. Having said that, I think Spurs fans are realizing that Mourinho isn't all that. How is all that? He's definitely lost touch after during United and after. They were they've like it seems like every club he joins, his meltdown just gets becomes preceded. It used to be every 3 years. Now it's every 2 years. Now it seems like it happens in 6 months. Uh, Having said that, I think we'll be. I have no doubt that we'll be up for the game. There have been players who've been around long enough to know the importance of this game. Arteta has himself played in these games. He knows what it's like. He is a gooner by by heart as well. So he knows the importance of these games, and he knows he will set up the team in a way that we negate as much of their attacking threat as possible. As far as how he sets up goes, I think he's found a sort of I think he's found his line, found his formation at least, maybe if not the players, with that 3-4-3-3-5-2 sort of line mix that he does. Um, I think outside of Nketiah, I think Pepe will come back in. I think Nketiah not being there, if for nothing else, he gives us just that no lack of energy. He's like the Energizer Bunny who just keeps running and running and running.
So if
I
Pepe comes
do
back
think
in,
that
does that mean Oba moves up top?
I don't think Laka will play. I think this is a game that we need to get a result from. And I don't think Laka will play. I think it will be Saka on the left, Ava up top, and Pepe on the right, and everybody else just fills in it. I think it'll be the same. I think that will be the only change. Bellin's had a good game. I think Bellin's will have a 5-day rest. He'll also come back fresh. Tierney, who's been just fabulous since the restart, I think the rest will do him good as well. I don't see any change in the lineup except for Pepe coming in for Lacazette.
So no chance like a Cedric or a Torreira make a sticker claim for the
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing like I think he's found the system because everyone's looking that they're in form as of this point. I mean, the only weakness you could probably point out is Kolasinac, but again, he looked also decent as well against Leicester.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there will be drastic surgery done, unless of course he just completely throws one out of left field and we're just sitting there thinking what's happening. But I think it'll probably be the same formations, the same players. I can just see Pepe coming in for Lacazette because that attacking threat is required.
I have a feeling he might stick Oba up front, push Saka to the left, and either bring Joe Willock on that right or might play Reece Nelson there because they both offer a little more defensively than Pepe does. And
Mm,
that left hand side of Tottenham with Son and I think Lamela play that position a lot over there, so that can be a dangerous side for them. So he might want to be a little more might want to be a little more defensive. I have a feeling he might start Cedric Suarez there in that game because I think Suarez looks a little more comfortable dealing with, like I think he just looks more comfortable defending than Bellerin does right now.
that's true.
Um,
I agree there. Yeah.
and for someone who's 29, Cedric Suarez doesn't is not a slouch. He's pretty quick that day. He was pretty fast that when I was watching him, and he's another option for free kicks as well. If you actually remember, for Southampton, he used to take a lot of free kicks and he used to be pretty
Yeah,
quick,
he's
quick
taken
as
out
well.
of figures as well. Yeah.
So I think he's going to probably stick to that. I don't think he's going to make a lot of changes. Okay, before we get into predictions and who's going to win and who's going to lose, uh, give me a couple of players to watch for Spurs that we have to look out for.
Look, I think it's written that Kane will dive and win a penalty.
Penalty.
I don't think that is going anywhere. I think Son will be dangerous. Bergwijn has looked good. He's the sort of player who runs with the ball and pushes forward. So I think we'll have to be careful not to get drawn into too many niggly fouls and just not bring him down. And with those niggly fouls, I think we'll be careful of him. So for me, I think it'd probably be Son, Bergwijn, and Kane. I think we know how to handle it. I think Son and Bergwijn are two, I think, players who are important. I think bigger miss for us is Dyer not playing because whenever he's played, he ends up missing, ends up making a mistake that always is great for us. I think he's been given a 4-match ban by the FA. That kind of sucks for us because I would have liked to see him start and of course, make a mistake when he's playing against us. But I think coming back to your point, I think Son and Bergwijn, I think, are two guys we need to watch out for.
And how do you think Mourinho will set up? Will he park the bus? Will he attack us? How do you think he's going to go?
No, he needs to win. I think they're also going for Europe. I don't think Spurs fans would be very keen to watch their team defend against us
But
where they want
Mourinho
us
doesn't
to
give a
win.
shit about
So
what the fans have to say. He's going to do things his way. A lot of Spurs
no,
fans are
I
not going to
agree.
be happy. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. But I think he knows that his team has limitations. Look, it's a derby at the end of the day. I don't think tactics as much are going to make much of a difference. It's on the day. You've seen us have our worst season when we got thrashed 8-2 and still beat Spurs 5-2. Um, so I mean, I've barely watched Spurs this season. I just know few of the players who I think who've been on and off and who've looked great while playing. Um, I think they're there. I think this should be a great Philip. Look, I'm not expecting us to get anything against Liverpool. So I think, and Arteta I think knows that as well. So I think he will go as all out as much as possible and try and get a result here. And Fuck Spurs. I really don't give a shit how they line up. I think we're just there to beat them, and doesn't matter what Mourinho throws up. I think we have enough and more to win.
All right. So you said that we're going to win. What do you think the scoreline will be?
I think it'll be a close game. I think it will be a close fought game. I think we'll win by the odd goal. So either 3-2 or 2-1.
All right, Samrit, just before we go, I just have one last question for what do you think of Tottenham?
What do you think of Tottenham? I think Tottenham shit.
What do you think of shit?
Tottenham.
All right, guys, that was the pod. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to come back with another pod after the North London derby. Let's hope Samrit's predicting a win for us. I'm predicting a win for us as well. I'm going to go for a 2-0. Uh, I'm actually positive for this game because I feel that I think Arteta would have worked out. I mean, he's working out the other opponents. I think he's going to work out Mourinho as well, and hopefully break that jinx that we've had under Mourinho. I mean, I know it's been broken, but further that now. Anyway, guys, that's been the pod. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook as well, the Arsenal Away, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ashwin.